Hello, classmates. Today I'm going to pay tribute to my parents. My parents are Omar and Daisy Barberena, and they will be celebrating 46 years of marriage in October. So excited for them. When I think of my parents and the sacrifice and the dedication of their dreams and goals, I'm extremely grateful that I have been a part of those goals and dreams myself. They migrated to the United States in 1973 after a huge earthquake that destroyed more than half of Nicaragua on Christmas Eve, December of 1972. They settled in Los Angeles area, and I could always remember the efforts that they would make. We would live in this really small apartment, and it was like a one-bedroom. And I remember being that kid that would get up early with my parents, and they'd have to take me somewhere so that they can go out and live, earn money. And I could see them always doing that. And them not knowing English, I could see the struggle as they tried to speak to people, and people would not recognize the fact that they only spoke Spanish. And so during that time, they also went to school and learned how to speak the language. Thankfully, they both learned English and they continued to pursue their dreams. My mom became a computer technician, and she worked for a really big company during that time in the Los Angeles area as well. Well, during that time, they also, I have to just, just with everything that's going on today in the world with immigration and things like that, they definitely did the right steps, and that is they became U.S. citizens during that time. And both of my parents, they work really hard. My dad worked for a uniform company for many, many years, became a manager, was a supervisor, became a manager. And during that time, it was just to see how amazing they were. And I remember going to their work, and people would just say how amazing my parents were. And so I give them thanks for instilling that work ethic in me as well. And so through me, as I'm able to instill it to my kids as well. Both of my parents has worked ever since I can remember to moving to the States. And my parents, they've always lifted each other up and taken the time to provide for their family. And so providing for my sisters. I have two sisters, and I'm just so grateful for them as well. But mostly the tribute that I do give just to my parents, because they have instilled the work ethic that I have today, the family ethic that I have today as well. The more importantly, the center of having God to be the center of my life, and understanding and trusting God's plan, God's will for my family as well. Well, during this time, obviously, like any family, there's always bumps in the road, and there's always a race that you're running. And unfortunately, sometimes we fall short of that race, and we hit speed bumps on the road as well. And so my parents, they taught us never to lose sight of that. And so when I wanted to get married at the age of 20, they said, okay, you're getting married, you're having a child, and you're going to move on and be happy with your husband. However, they knew. They were very still supportive, but the moment then, about 8 years into my marriage, I then became a single parent, unfortunately, and my ex-husband at the time now was nowhere to be found. And they never passed judgment on me. They just said, okay, well, maybe it's time for you to do something else. And they still encouraged me and supported me, and they helped me with my kids. That was amazing. And so I thank them for that. Well, in conclusion, fast forward to today. One of their dreams and goals was to open their own restaurant and their own tax office. And here we are 20, 22, 25 years later, and they have their own restaurant. My mom just opened their restaurant a couple years ago, and then my dad has had his business for also a couple years. So I thank them for that. I thank them for sharing that, goals are possible no matter how much and how much time it takes. The goals and dreams that you do have are possible. Both of my kids have now, I have now remarried, and they were again very supportive, and I thank them for that. Now I'm 11 years together with my husband, and I thank the Lord for him. And But being a single parent, they still supported me and they helped me with my kids. And now my daughter has just graduated, earned her bachelor's in liberal arts. And then my son just graduated with his master, him being the first one in our family with a master's degree. So out of all of my entire family, and I should mention that my mom has 12 brothers and sisters, so it's a really big family. Nevertheless, I definitely want to also then, of course, thank my parents because they continue to amaze me with their support and their love and the highest honor, and I thank them for that. Both have stayed together, united as a couple, as a married couple should. They've showed me how it is, regardless of the race you are running. Get back on track. Those speed bumps. They're just speed bumps, but as long as you go slowly, move across them, you'll be able to get through everything together, united as one. So I pay tribute to them, and I thank them. I love you, parents.